You.
Oh, hey, can you guys hear me now? If you can hear me now, just put it in the comments. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but I'm Gerald Flores, and this is the Adapt and Thrive segment on Stimulus TV. And here I am with the man behind some of the most hyped sneaker drops of the past few years, Mr. Franklin Cooke.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Let's do this again.
I know, right? Everything is good here, man. Everything's good over in Portland. Beautiful day out. Like I said, man, it's like usually a rare thing, but it's good, man. I want to get out and get some vibes. So
yeah, same.
Yes, sir.
So for a lot of people who aren't in the sneaker circle, why don't you start by telling the people a little bit about yourself?
Oh man, so kind of started out in the boutique world, man. As a buyer at Wish ATL, man. Such a good time, man. Had a lot of good relationships that were built off of that, part of my career. Got to learn, the ins and outs about buying and, just more of the skill level to assess, I guess, the people, man. And it was a good time, man. And Atlanta is just a beautiful city, filled with culture, man, filled with like super good vibes. So that kind of like fueled my, career in Nike, man. And, working with Jimo Wong and the Energy Group at Jordan, man. That was just a special time in itself, man. Just some really amazing projects that came out of it, and just a really special time in sneakers, man. I think it kind of set a level to where things are now,
For sure.
And resale culture and, all of that is a big part of it, and, I'm really excited to see where, after all of this, where sneakers are going to go, man. Like where the whole sneaker industry, footwear industry, streetwear industry, apparel, where all that's going to go next. That's what I'm really excited for. It's been a great time. It's been ups and downs in this whole thing, but I think it's some positives that are definitely going to come out of it.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely want to talk about, get your thoughts on the future of the footwear industry and get into some of the projects that you've worked on, what you're working on now. But we are taking questions, comments, concerns. If you got a question for Frank, just drop it in the comments. And most importantly, we are taking donations for the COVID relief fund. If you feel so inclined, help some people out who are suffering from this pandemic, hit that donate button down in the bottom. So shout out to all the people who are tuning in. So let's go back to the beginning. Frank, why don't you tell me why and what made you get into this industry?
Why did I get into it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, initially, when you talk about streetwear culture, it was a subculture. It just felt right to, like a little bit of art, fashion, music. All of that was kind of combined in this industry, man. And sports. All the things I grew up loving, and it kind of snowballed like all of it into one big thing. And then it just, I just thought like, hey, this is, I mean, when it first started out, people were like, this is like a weird culture. Like it's different, and like, I remember my mom and my father just always like, hey man, like, why are you buying all these sneakers? It's stupid. But like now it's just like a thing, you know what I mean? So this is pre like, resale, pre all that, and just the storytelling alone, I think with streetwear, and footwear, streetwear was just, always anti, and that's like kind of my vibe. It's always controversial, and that was the thing that kind of drew me in with the Supremes and, the 10 Deeps of the world or the, Crooks and Castles. These were like rebel kind of feels, but they were for a good cause,
For sure.
Yeah.
It's funny because I came from Complex and I used to run Soul Collector.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they were like one of the first, I guess, like magazines to cover sneakers or pages. But now, fast forward to like 10 years later, it's like ESPN is covering it, and like these like sites that these like established companies that are media companies that you never thought would cover sneakers. Government. It's crazy to think of. Just actually speaking of ESPN, are you keeping up with The Last Dance at all?
Oh, of course, man. That makes my Sundays. You know, I got a link to with the future kind of episodes, man. I couldn't do it, man. I mean, I'm fully suited up, man. Like Sunday, that's my Sunday. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this one, and I know we only got like 2 left, but I mean, just that nostalgic piece on that, like hearing Marv Albert, and the sneakers and just the fans, and that was just so, such a special time, because like celebrity was real celebrity then, like when you look at a Rodman and he was on fucking like Rock and Jock, basketball MTV, like that's like real celebrity. That was like, we have access to, the top stars now, the LeBrons of the world or the Travises, because through social media, but you had none of that. Like if you had a picture with MJ, that's a picture, like, or you seen him out, like that was like real life, like, oh shit moment, but yeah, man, it's a beautiful piece, man. I mean, even the music in it, like the editing is so good. And it's just like, I can watch them a million times, man. Like I go back and watch them again and I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Shout out to anyone who remembers what Rock and Jock is. Put it.
Rock and Jock, man. That shit was like, Flea would be there balling with Will Smith, and like it was just crazy athletes, and like the way they did that was just simply amazing.
Shout out Bill Bellamy.
Bill Bellamy. Shouts out. How to be a player.
We got a couple questions coming in here for you. Okay. Some viewer wants to know, how did you get your foot in the door?
Oh man, so I interned actually at Nike in 2006 and 2007, which was my junior and senior year. After that, man, after I graduated, I moved out to Portland, and it was during the first recession, and man, it was just not happening. I was like trying to just get my foot in the door, and it was just like, nah, man, we have a hiring freeze and all this. So I stayed out in Portland for about 8 to 9 months. I worked at a local Levi's store, folding denim, and that was dope until one day I got a phone call from Wish, and they were like, can you meet us in Vegas for Magic? And I was like, sure. So then I told the manager, I was like, yo, I have to go. I'm leaving this weekend, and I don't know if I'm come back, but I had to walk out. So I told her that, and yeah, man, the rest was history with that. So I went to Vegas, and then I just moved back to Atlanta. And so, my career there and doing collaborations, when collaborations were really early, you know what I mean? Like when it was really a special thing, and, shouts out to the foundation group for giving me a chance. I did a play clothes hat. My first collaboration was a play clothes hat, man. And it sold out. And I was just like, man, this is amazing. So like projects started to come in, and, we worked on stuff with Reebok, Adidas, like I said, 10 Deep, Publish, like when that was popping. We've done, Joy Rich, LA. Like we've done a lot of different things. Cause, we did an original fake collaboration tee, and an exhibit at the art museum. So, it was just like a great time. And then, man, I got after I left there, I got a call from Jimo Wong saying like, hey man, can you come, do a little stretch? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And, it was part-time. So it was, for me, I was just like, man, I'm taking another chance, like leaving, but I knew it felt right. And, yeah, man, he hit me up, and I wasn't really that good at Illustrator. I'm still not the best, but like, it was just like, I know I have an eye for product. And, man, it was just a great journey, man. I was at ETW, which is like a part-time worker for about 1.5 years. And then I became full-time, man. And the rest is history. Yeah, for sure.
And actually, there's a question I have too, but it's also coming to Bialy wants to know what project you were proud of in your career. I mean, why don't you just go through some of the projects that you did over at Nike and enjoy?
You breaking up? Say again.
the Bialy wants to know what project are you most proud of in your career. But why don't you talk about some of the things you've done at Jordan Brand and at Nike?
There's a couple of ones I'm very proud of, but I think one that hits home. There's a couple of them. There's probably like three of them that really hit home. One is the Dornbecker, working with Dornbecker and doing that project. It was something that I've always dreamed of doing, and man, it just came to fruition, man. And to see, to work with the kids and to see, how much energy they put into those shoes are amazing. Like, it's just, the feeling that you get, to see a kid work on something and be proud of something and have something, out there in the world is like amazing. The other project that I really love is working with the Wings group, man. Like, the Wings kids are just, in Chicago. I mean, it's tough out there, but to see those kids wake up day after day, and show up every Saturday to be able, to be involved in a program. And I'm not sure if you've seen the Wings Fives.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the Wings Fives.
And or no, was that the 4?
That's the 5.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I got it.
Oh, there you go. Show and tell. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Rock, maybe have something.
Yeah, man.
These pieces were amazing.
But these are like, man. I mean, shouts out to Chad, my developer, man. Chad Sandy, he killed it. But man, this is basically all their artwork that they kind of drew up, and like every shoe is different. I mean, the glow in the dark wing, and this is something that the kids can have forever, man. Like, they can forever say that this is my artwork on a Jordan. Like, how many kids can say that? So I mean, shouts out to the Wings and Shanti Mashia for that program, and it's just an amazing program. So, and then I think the last one is working with Milad, Make a Wish. His fight with cancer, but him making that AJ1 and he killed it, man. It was just like a perfect execution, and that is just one thing I cherish, man. His fight, his courage, through it all. He was resilient, and man, I just really appreciate him a lot, man. And he's definitely an inspiration to me, for sure.
So you kind of came from, or you were used to working in this like giant corporate structure, and now you're kind of like your own boss. Like, what was that transition like for you?
Man, it was different. I think in corporate life, it's hard, right? Because I came from this, again, this subculture that's rebellious. It's different. It goes against the grain, but it's also, it's also for the people. So like when I got into corporate, it was just a different vibe, man. It's pretty tough, man. The matrix of it all and trying to navigate, and I think, that's one thing that we kind of need to, talk through, because again, it's hard to understand that, especially your mentals, like having the mental capacity to not only work on this big, this big company on such a big platform,
Mm-hmm.
But, also having, the mental health to be a minority in that, and it also needs, leadership. It needs mentorship as well, and so it was a pretty challenging thing, but I think me going through the corporate structure has built a different lens for me to look at, the footwear industry, and I'm thankful for that time. And then, now it's just a little bit different, shouts out to like the Joe Fresh Goods of the world and people that are getting it, that are inspirations to me to like want to do projects and want to do these like, these one-offs. But yeah, you never know, man. I'm down to like go back into corporate. I definitely want to get back into product, because I want to, kick down the door for people that look like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the boardroom too. Tattoos on my face, and I'm in the boardroom. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely want to, definitely get back to that. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man, for sure.
For sure. I got another question from the comments. Pelham NYC wants to know, outside of footwear and apparel, what is a brand that you would love to rebrand?
Outside of that? Outside of footwear and apparel. That's a good question, man.
Putting you on the spot right now.
I think my other passion other than footwear and apparel is definitely music. So I would love to like probably get into some type of streaming or like a SoundCloud or like something like that, because I think with music, I think I'm a visual learner and I'm a very visual guy. I think with music, once you see the visuals, then it's just like, okay, like this kind of resonates with me and my vibe, you know? So like, I mean, I would probably do something visual with like a music streaming or music, like a record company, something like that. Yeah. Hold on, time out. What you got? You got a Tom Sack? Is that a Tom Sack?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, light flex though.
Well, I didn't put it there on purpose. I wore them to. Well, actually, now it sounds like.
No. Okay, I'm just saying.
Grocery store yesterday. Now it sounds like I'm sounding even more like an asshole. But
to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit, man. Okay, my bad. I know it was like that.
That's the funny thing, because like, I mean, at home we're all at home a lot more often now, and like I'm just wearing socks, and the only time I get to wear my sneakers is when I have to go out and do essential stuff. It's like, all right, well, I guess I'll wear these today. But
and it's funny that way. Like, that's what I think through too. Like, if we have masks on, does that take away from your swag? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a mask on, like somebody looks at your feet, like you can't really see the expression on their face, like, oh, like that's lit or not, like, or they're smiling behind the mask. You can't tell,
Well, last week we had a photographer on that she does mask smiles, so she takes photos of people who got the surgical mask on, and like her series of photos of people that you could see like their eyes. But I don't know how hard you have to.
Dope. I'll have to look that up for sure.
No. Are you a surgical mask person? I go like bandana, Red Dead Redemption style.
Yeah, so I do. I'm a both kind of dude. Like I'm a bandana, but the mask is under it, so it's like double protection kind of vibe. And then I also have the ski mask vibe, but like I don't want people to like be scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm wearing all black in a ski mask, and then like you can't go into the bank that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I see some people out here when I walk the streets, like they're full on like Scorpion from like Sub-Zero, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Like
it's funny though, because when I used to fly before all this, I used to put it on, and people look at you all crazy, like, why does this dude have? But now you see just like regular ass people just like throwing on masks, and you're like, yeah, see, like it was a thing. It's a thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this has definitely been a different time, but. I appreciate this time, man. There's a lot of good, positive things that has come out of this. Like, I'm talking to family more, connecting with my son, on levels like that are just amazing. I mean, just learning how to do new things, like cut my own hair, like manicure, pedicure kind of things, like just learning different things, and just taking this time. Also, man, like kick some bad habits,
Yeah.
Like I drank all I could drink, you know what I mean, and cooked all I can cook, man. Like it's just learning and building yourself now, man. And so I'm thankful for this time, man. And it's just for anybody who's out there and going through this alone or going through, it's different when you're, I'm an extrovert, so it's like usually I'm out or I'm flying, I'm traveling. Or at a restaurant or something, but this time, these 8-9 weeks that we've been in, it's just been really an eye opener for myself and building myself up, man. It's been amazing, and like I said, the relationships and getting to get back to family and just really taking a slow down has been awesome. Getting back to God, man. Having those conversations, like having time to pray and really like hone in, man. That's a huge thing, man, because sometimes you can be out here and try to do it yourself, man, and you really can't. You need family, you need God, you need prayer, but yeah, man, it's been a journey, man. It's been highs and lows, and I'm thankful for it all.
Yeah, me too. Me
Yeah,
too,
man.
man. It's like, everything is shaken up, and obviously there's like unfortunate circumstances that go on, but there's also positive things. I feel like the structure of like having to go in an office 5 days a week is totally going to be like we thought after this. I feel like I was like having this conversation with a friend the other day about like how like the office structure really is like the physical office structure, like where the CEO is in the corner office, and then all the things are in certain strategic places.
Yeah.
It's really all about power and status, but like I feel like working from home, I'm way more productive than like having to get on the subway and go somewhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I feel like what COVID did, or like what this whole pandemic has done, is like put everybody on an equal playing field, around the world. So 9/11 is just targeting New York, or all those different Katrina, or like you talk about a tsunami, or that's like affecting a region, but like this is worldwide, and everybody's on an equal playing field. Like everybody is equal. There's no CEOs, nobody has any answers, nobody can cure anything. We're all equal now. So like now when you're going back into that structure, it's like, okay, now you need to open your ears and listen to what people have to say, and what the next is.
Absolutely. And that's actually a great segue for anyone who wants to help people who were affected by this pandemic. Our frontline workers, hit that donate button. We are collecting funds for the COVID relief fund. Got some more questions here. People in the comments want to see a sneaker battle between you and me. Yes, these are cool gray forwards for whoever asked, but I'm not even going to go there because I feel like you just would beat me by just showing those Wings 5s like alone.
Nah, man. You know what? When it comes to sneakers, I have my like rotation, man. I haven't, I try to keep it down to a minimum. But anybody who knows me knows like breads or fragments is just like my only go-to, man. Like, there's a few, I can flex a little bit, but I think it's a cheat code, man. I can't do that. Like I worked for Nike, you know what I mean? So that doesn't count. I remember. But even before then, though, I've always been into sneaks. Like I've always collected. I can go back in the storage before, what I mean, Nike, and still. And I love everything, man. You see a little bit of Asics boxes here. Vans, my favorite. I think this is one of my favorite shoes that didn't really get a lot of love. But I think he should have stuck with them. But I don't know what happened. But those hold on.
Frank's going in the stash right now.
Yeah,
in the comments.
These are one of my favorites, man. The Golf Wang joints. Yeah, these are fire. Yeah. Like Tyler killed this, and I think that was his groove, man. I think he, I love him with Converse, but like I don't know what happened, but him and skate culture, man, and he's like really with the shits with skate, But these are like one of my favorites. Shout out to BJ Betts though. I was like looking for these, and he was just like, "Yo, man, I got them," and I finally obtained them. So this is like one of my favorites that I have in the collection, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and that was like such a really organic story too, which I thought was really cool.
Man. Yeah, for him, for sure. And I think he's one of the best creatives that, no pun intended, Tyler the Creator, but, for him to take on something like, imagine he's doing the Igor thing, right? It's a character that he, came up with, and he plays the role, so it's theatrical, but the music is good, and he scores like he's like his own producer, and he's doing the beats, and he's, his tiny desk is like incredible. So, shouts out to him, man. He kills it, man. He's one of the like most talented, artists I think out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you're not just a Nike person. You've also done projects like outside of Nike too, since you left, right? Yeah, you want to talk about those a bit?
Yeah, man. One of my favorites were Wish, the $2 bill SL Loop. Shouts out to Jimmy, man. When he was working at Adidas before he went to Nike, man. But he was just like, "Yo, man, we have this new shoe, the SL Loop. It's a runner." And I was like, "Man, I'm like nervous about this," but it was a good silhouette, man. I thought the design was amazing. And then he was like, "I want it for July 4th," and I'm like, "Okay, like Independence Day." So I'm like, I know that I can't do stars and stripes, man. That's a little too easy, right? So, I just researched Independence Day, and of course, on the back of the $2 bill, they're signing in the Declaration of Independence. I'm from Philly, like, the whole thing. So I'm like, damn, this is kind of like shaping up. But then, I was like, how can I tie it back? Besides the $2 bill and Independence Day, how can I tie it back to Atlanta? So I did some more research, and at the Mint in Atlanta is the only place that prints $2 bills. Mm-hmm. So like it tied back to Atlanta. So I'm like, bet this is all the ends are tied up, and the storytelling was there. Shouts out to Josh Herr in materials. He like killed it. It just came out as a perfect execution. And to this day, like the paper, the box paper, I can't believe we put an actual $2 bill, like a note on it. Like I don't know how that went through legal, but so I'll take it. Fuck it. For sure. But yeah, that's one. And I'm really excited. I'm working with Nice Kicks right now on the Bubba Chuck, man. The Allen Iverson. It's always been a dream to do a question. Yeah. I'm tattooed because of Allen Iverson. That's a hero, forever my hero. I mean, how besides MJ, how real does it get, Of
course.
So yeah, one of his favorite pastimes is fishing. So we just kind of took a Delore approach with Glow, and kind of like those tones, like those earth tones with fishing. And I think it's going to be a great project, man. It drops the first week of June. Starting to get some, packs out there. Did a whole tackle box. It comes with the lure. It comes with, fishing license. Just the whole all the bells and whistles, man.
Yeah, man, that's exciting. Actually, speaking of Nice Kick, when I used to work at Complex, a mutual friend of ours, Matthew J. Welty, would show up the Woodstock Ultra Boost that you did. Like it would be like every other day, like pulling out of the tin or the little van, the little cardboard box.
Shouts out to Welty, man. He's a good dude, man. He's the most controversial dude in sneakers, I think, man. Those triggers, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Love him, man. He's a good dude, man. He's a good dude.
Very good person, man. He talked a lot, like I've sat next to him, like my first day at Complex, like we sat next to each other, and there's no one who will teach you patience more than working with someone who has totally different views than you. But we call him.
It's almost like he, because like when I went on Full Size Run, so I remember the old format when they had other host, and I was just like, man, because he would talk shit about my projects all crazy. And I'm like, man, when I get on here, so I had like a little defense when I went on there. And I was like, man, but like I met him before like the show, and I was just like, man, like I had my little defense up. And he was like, he wound up being cool. We had a little drink, you know what I mean? Like we vibed out, and it was cool. And then I think Trinidad, my man Nick, shouts out to Trinidad James, man. He brings a light to that show, not to take away from the other two, but like, he brings like a realness to it, and like a good light to it, man. Good vibe. So that was a great experience, man. Shout out to Full Size Run, man. It was a good time.
Yeah. Good guys. Can't wait for the season to start up again.
Yeah, I can't either.
Yeah. So this is a question for me. What was a normal day for you like before lockdown happened, and how's that kind of changed with everything being
Oh man, I was doing a lot of traveling, man. From New York, fashion weeks, things like that, and I guess for me, the things that changed is like really slowing down, man. Like now I can appreciate, my work. I can appreciate, again, family, but really taking in the skills and thinking through next, that's what I'm most excited about. I was never really worried about, the virus like that. It's just more so, how's it going to affect the economy and what's next? Like, I'm glad to be in a necessity kind of, field where we're never going to be butt naked or we're never going to be barefoot, so what are those solutions? Like a lot of people talk about the past and like how to get into things, but like, how can you say, what somebody can do, like, and you don't know the future.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are doing Zoom calls and shit. Like it's just like, fam, you don't know, like, but to have those, but to be solution based, to be, thinking through what's next, I think is the most exciting part of this. Again, the world, just like when 9/11 happened and traveling, this is going to change the world. So like, what can we do that's a positive, to spark, ideas and creativity throughout the youth, man. And now is the time to listen to the youth, man. It's still, with all this, it's still real things going on, man. It's still, and that now it's like hyper local, right? So you're thinking through like, how is it affecting, different neighborhoods? How are they being affected by this? Like, what's gonna be next? I'm surprised to see resale and retail culture still thriving, through online. So it's different, man. And like I said, this is a wonderful time, man, because this will spark a renaissance within the youth, within, minorities, and like I said, there's still real things going on. Like Amon, that whole Amon thing is real, that's real. It's still real things going on, and we got to come together. And, that was just a horrible thing that happened. And, but again, those type of situations always make us stronger.
Yeah. Someone told me that when you live through crisis, like it either builds you or it buries you.
Wow. And that's powerful, man. That's super powerful.
And with the Amon thing, I'm thankful that they finally arrested those two guys. But you didn't see anything about it on CNN. It was pretty much on
local
with social media.
But imagine if that video didn't leak.
Exactly.
It would just have been another black man dead, man. And it's tough. It's tough, man. And like I said, for me in my career, that's one thing that I always want to push for and know that, as a minority, as a black man, I can, in this industry, we have a voice and we need to be heard, and it's going to be some struggles and it's going to be, some hurdles, but I'm down to, fight for it and know that, for people that look like me to have a future in something that they love and do every day.
Sure. You mentioned that the youth and how we should listen to them. A lot of kids they want to be creatives like yourself, and they're graduating into this like pandemic, and they don't know what their career trajectory is going to be like. What would be your advice to them, and how they would navigate through this time?
Honestly, man, the best thing is building relationships, and not only building relationships, but building quality relationships, but also integrity. Integrity not only in yourself but in your work. If you're going to say you can deliver, and it's all about communication. Making sure that you're on top of things, making sure that you're organized, making sure that that if you're saying you're going to do something, you do it. And not everything is going to pan out the way that you want to. You want them to happen. It's all in timing. It's all in patience. It's all in God's timing. You know what I mean? So, if you get it's been plenty of times I got, shot down. I interviewed for Jordan, a couple of times, and they were just like, nah, man, this is not going to happen, and then it finally happened as a part-time job, so like, imagine going into your dream part-time and not knowing after 6 months if you were going to be there or not, so it's like, and that first time when I came out to Portland in 2008, I thought I was going to go right into a job. I interned. I'm like, I interned for 2 years. Last year was beautiful. I got good ratings, but it didn't happen that way because I needed to build, relationships and build something pure out of Atlanta. Again, shouts out to Atlanta. Without Atlanta, I'd be nothing. But, that culture and, from strip clubs to church, like all that was that's all in one, you can do all that in Atlanta. So, I'm just super thankful for that time, and man, just don't give up, man. Patience. And like I said, like through this all, it's something brand new. Create something brand new. This is an open field that people need answers. They need, help on things, it's different, it's a whole different thing. So stay focused, and stay creative, man.
Pell NYC wants to know, what do you think the future of the U.S. trade show will be? You mentioned your first Magic in Vegas.
Okay, so this is funny because before all this, I was always saying like I miss Vegas, right? Because that was a time where we would all meet, and it was just like a family reunion. I get to see my brother Jay, I get to see Derek, Dion, and like the foundation, Joe from Oneness, like all these people that we just all Mike LaPalooza, like these dudes that are A-Life, like we get to see like what was happening in these different parts, right, of the U.S. and share our stories and then create new stories. I mean, those nights got wild, but you know what I mean? Like, and so for me, it was just like, even with Paris Fashion Week, it was like, yo, we're taking all these brands over there. And it's nothing wrong with Paris, but it's like, I'm traveling over there to see my homies. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I think, a strong thing was in, Magic. And I don't know, how that, kind of went down with agenda and everything. But like, I missed those days. And I think the U.S. trade shows, I mean, I hope they're not Zoom, because I don't know if we go back to giving daps and hugs again, but I need that from my people, like my brothers, and so I hope that it's not a Zoom thing or online thing. I hope we can go back and maybe mask up or figure it out. But yeah, man, U.S. trade shows are, and like that goes with Complex Con. I don't know growing up where a place where I can go see Pharrell and my favorite rapper and my favorite designer and everybody. So shouts out to, Complex Con. I think that was it's like a wonderful platform, again, like my brother Joe Freshgoods with like a crazy, booth and being able to tell his story and share his story, and, Rello and all those dudes, Fat Tiger Works, like, man, they're just doing amazing things, and so again, going back to that, I hope it comes back for sure.
Yeah, I mean, those days weren't just good for, I guess, like getting business done, but also like networking. So how do you think just like networking overall is going to change in this,
Yeah, man, I think that's going to be a different thing, man, that just hop on, Zooms or phone calls. It's not enough, man. I think, just having that human interaction was amazing, and who's to say that we won't go back to it, but, I know it's going to be forever changed through this climate, man, but I mean, it's going to be a tough one, man. Again, because you can't get the feel of, and I'm a physical shopper too, man. Like I never was an online dude like that unless it was a short shot.
Mm-hmm.
But like I need to touch, feel, feel the weight, or feel the fabric, and that's how you really get things done. But hopefully it all comes back, man. I think I'm hopeful, and I'm excited again for the future, man, because I know that there's going to be a lot of good storytelling coming out for sure.
Was there any kind of storytelling projects, whether in footwear, apparel, or whatever, that you didn't work on but kind of made you jealous, that you wish you thought of it?
Not really jelly, but like I'm proud of all my friends that have projects, man. Like I said, the Joe Freshgoods, my brother Jay Amamanier, Derek telling his story at Sneaker Politics, Dion in Boston, Joe at Oneness, like, Brock in Virginia, you know what I mean? Frankie in Miami, Danny in Miami, Shoe Gallery. Like, you see, they bring a piece of home all the way, like, to us, and they tell that story, and when I go to visit my friends and see what they're doing, like in Chicago and, all these different cities, man, it's just a wonderful thing to see, man. And I'm so proud of all those dudes, and so proud of anybody who's just doing their thing, and, even in New York, man, you see the Kiths of the world and how that's affecting, everybody. So it's just like, it's amazing, man. It's amazing for sure. But it's like, it's nothing, that I would say I was jealous of. I'm just proud of everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how like the industry is like, kind of forces you to compete with everybody instead of like polluting and being proud of seeing good work.
Yeah. So to me, I don't look at it as a competition. I look at it as inspiration, man. When I see somebody doing something really good, it's like, I never was like that even when it was at like Wish. If somebody wanted to open up near me, that's fine. I think, You know, you just don't shop at one place, but it's also the feel of the shop, man. You know, you can have the same. It's like somebody who can wear the same shit as you, but it's just not the same without the, you know, the sauce. You know what I'm saying? So you can carry whatever you want to carry. You can do whatever you want to do. But the feeling of, you know, a kid coming into the store and not even buying anything, but staying there for 2 hours to talk kicks and, you know, things that are coming out, that's the game changer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, well Frank, thank you so much for taking the time, showing off gems, and most importantly, dropping these bars and
no worries, man, for sure, man. It's much needed, man. The dialogue, and you know, I just hope the people, you know, whatever questions that they have, I hope I could answer them good, you know. But yeah, man, we're gonna make it through this, man. It's gonna be a good vibe, man.
Yeah, if people have more questions for you, where can they find you? Where can they hit you up at?
Oh, that's you can just hit me in the DM. You know what I mean? On IG. But yeah, if they have any, if there's some more questions they want to tackle now, I mean, I'm down with that. I mean, I don't know if you're pressed for time, but.
Man, I got nothing but time and energy, man. Cool. If you has any more questions or comments for Frank, let's drop in. Well, let's go overtime since you know, we got a good guest. In the meantime, you want to show off? You want to pull out something else out of the closet and make everybody jealous, or?
No, I don't really have anything. I mean, like one of my, you know, favorite projects was like, I guess with my brother Nigel, man. Like I think that was one of the best Jordan 1s, man. I hope that they can probably do another one, but that was like one of my favorites, man. And shouts out to Nigel. You know, I think that was an organic story. That was like the first distressed Jordan 1 that ever dropped, you know, and I think it was just perfect with the, you know, reflective swoosh and everything. But yeah, I mean, I kind of posted these joints yesterday. I don't know if people want to get like a close up on these joints, but this is cool. Look, a little vibe. The black toe with like a little yellow lining.
Yeah, the shape is close to the OG shape, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, with the Nike Air on the tongue. You know what I'm saying? Little vibe. You know, just a little subtle change there. It had a couple plans, but it didn't go through. But that's fine.
I mean, you got them.
Yeah. No, it's good, man. You know, it's good. What's your favorite? What are you rocking? That's your favorite right now?
Man, honestly, like I just wear black and cement 3s probably like 90% of the time. Like when they dropped, I cop like just every pair I could get my hands on, and I don't know, just made things like simpler for me. It's like I like my love for I love sneakers, I still do, and I love like the storytelling and stuff that you guys and guys you do. But you know, it's funny. It's like the longer I worked at Complex, like the less and less I like love sneakers, because I would just like have to talk about them every day, see them every day, and so it was just like, you know, my way of like, all right, let me just make this simple for myself and save some time getting dressed and going out black cement 3s, because like they're just like the perfect shoe, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, no, they're good. I love black cement 3s. I think they're good. I can only wear them with shorts though. Like it doesn't go right with my. I don't know why. Like I just like wearing them with shorts and like a crew sock, you know. But I mean, besides the 1s, I think my favorite Jordan has to be the 8, man. If I could ever work on an 8, like have a collaboration with an 8, I would straight kill it, because like it's you know, you have the utility of like almost like a boot, and then the straps are just different, and then like I love the chenille and the tongue. It's just, and then like that whole wave pattern, like it's just, it embodies the 90s.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Even like the font that the 23 is on the strap is like,
yeah. No, that between that and a Raid, like an Air Raid, like that embodies like the 90s. I mean, besides Force One, you know, and Bo Jackson trainers and Deion Sanders. When you talk about Diamond Turf, like what the fuck? Or Agassi, you know. When you talk about that, like court challenge, like that is some other shit. Yeah.